distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to the auditorium to take your seats.
Salamabe, Abinatanayo, Salaso.
take your seats now.
I think that's it, is it? What lovely little young men you were. Really nice indeed. I was enjoying that company on the stage with me. They've all left. Was it something I said, young ladies and gentlemen? Anyway, President Mahama, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, fellow Africans, I am Zainab Badawi, and I am your moderator, your host for this evening. And I think that they were absolutely lovely, those young people. They are the Pan-African Youth Orchestra under the tutelage of Kweku Kachi, and they were really delightful, really, really wonderful. So it is my pleasure to be with you in this lovely city of Accra at this great gathering for the Mo Ibrahim Foundation's leadership ceremony. And it's terrific to be with President Mahama and some good friends from his government, Foreign Minister and others. And it's the start of a weekend of a high-level discussion, but also entertainment, which will feature many of Africa's leading figures in the world of politics, football and music. And the football is Ghana Dream Team and JP Mazembe from DRC. So it's going to be a very, very exciting match for those of you who are going to attend that on Sunday. You're all in store for a treat because we're going to have some wonderful musicians who are going to get fired up, and I hope you won't remain sitting when you hear them. Now, Ghana's capital city, Accra, is one of Africa's best-known cities, and it's very much a thriving, bustling metropolis. I always love it when I come here. So it's a very fitting location for this year's theme for the Ibrahim Forum, which is Africa's urban dynamics. Don't mind me, gentlemen. I'll just wait for these removal men to finish their work. Are you done? Thank you so much. And of course, we are honored tonight to be joined by President Mahama. So I'd like you, please, to put your hands together to welcome President Mahama, who's going to be saying a few words. Second time in a day, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Zainab. And good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you to Accra, Ghana for the 2015 Mo Ibrahim Foundation Leadership Ceremony. We in Ghana are honored to be hosting the leadership ceremony at which the new winner of the Mo Ibrahim Prize will be decorated. And it's a well-deserved honor because Ghana's democracy continues to grow, and we're looked upon as a beacon of democratic advancement on the continent of Africa. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, like many post-colonial African nations, we've had our fair share of political upheavals and military interventions, which summarily truncated constitutionally elected governments. All that changed in 1992. And for more than 2 decades now, Ghana has been the trailblazer of democratic consolidation in Africa. We continue to light Thank you. We continue to light the path of democracy, good governance, rule of law, and respect for human rights. We believe that the path to true progress and prosperity lies in submitting to the sacred will of our people in whom political power resides. Ghana continues to work with other like-minded nations to advance the cause of the continent by focusing on the key issues of strengthening political and democratic governance, curbing youth unemployment, and developing key strategies to push forward Africa's renaissance. Congratulations to you, Your Excellency Mo Ibrahim, and your foundation for contributing to the enhancement of leadership on the continent with the Mo Ibrahim Prize. And congratulations to the winner of this year's award, Your Excellency Hifikepunye Pohamba, former President of Namibia. I must say, it is a totally deserved award, and we salute you as you join the ranks of the great elder African statesmen. Once again, you are all most welcome to Ghana, and please enjoy the night. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. President. Now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, the last 12 months have seen significant developments in Africa, and let's face it, some good and some not so good. On the positive side, for instance, there was a peaceful democratic transition of power in the continent's most populous country, Nigeria, the momentous efforts by locals and other Africans to tackle the Ebola outbreak. And despite the commodities downturn, there's still strong economic growth and increasing opportunities for citizens. But sadly, of course, I know from my line of work, there's also been some very worrying trouble spots, renewed conflict, tensions, and failure to ensure that economic benefits really filter down to everybody in society. And since the Ibrahim Index is about governance, let's just remind ourselves of what's happened in terms of governance in Africa this past year. We're going to just show you this video. So that's where we've been this past year. And of course, it was to encourage and celebrate the crucial role of good governance that Mo Ibrahim set up his foundation nearly 10 years ago. Mo, of course, is one of Africa's best known businessmen and, of course, one of its most successful. And through the work of the foundation and its initiatives, Mo has helped shine a spotlight on the state of governance in Africa. He's also a very dear friend of mine. I admire him from near and far. And it's my pleasure now, Mo, to invite you onto the stage to say some words to us. Thank you.
Good evening, my brothers and sisters. Honors acknowledged for everybody. Let me start with rendering my thanks to our brother, the President of Ghana, for receiving us and the welcome here to us. So many thanks to the President and to the people of Ghana for hosting us today. And thank you. I also would like to acknowledge President Kufuor, past president of this country, and it is wonderful that the past president is sitting with us here, not in jail or it is a testimony to this democratic country, which we are all proud of. The peaceful transfer of power is wonderful. And yesterday, I was honored by the Kufuor Foundation, who invited me to engage with the students at the university. And that's a wonderful example of African presidents who have a life after office, building their foundations and engaging with civil society, not in mischief or fighting, or that is really what we look for. So Ghana is giving us a great example. So thanks for the two presidents for that wonderful example they're giving us. And we are here, as you know, today or tonight to celebrate success stories in African leadership. Why we do that? Because we want to change the narrative about African leaders. Unfortunately, somehow this cloud, dark cloud of African leaders, and whenever you go anywhere in the world, there's unfortunately an unfair perception that African leaders are either dictators or thieves or both. And we try to say, please, we have few bad apples, but many of African leaders are really doing the good work, and we need to bring those people out from the shadows into the light. And it is so amazing. I mean, everybody in Europe, United States, know General Mobutu, still think Idi Amin is alive. And I just, you know, these are the leadership they keep throwing at our face. And I remember 2 months ago, I was speaking at London School of Economics, which is supposed to be one of the bastions of political and economic education in UK. And in our conversation about the issue of leadership, it just occurred to me to ask them, do you know Festus Mogae? And 2 or 3 people knew him. What about Pedro Barrios? I'm sorry, Mr. President Barrios, nobody knew you. And I said, really, shame on you. Like almost 25% of the students were African. So even our own African people are unfortunately sucked into that perception that all our leaders are bad. They know everything about those bad leaders, but they know nothing about our unsung heroes. We have wonderful presidents who came and did the good work, left the office without changing constitutions or staging military coups or doing some mischief, and engage with civil society. And this is a wonderful example. So we need to change the narrative, not only among Europeans and Americans and Asians. We need for our own kids. Unfortunately, our own kids watch this social media and this TV channel, etc., and they don't know their own history, they don't know their own leadership, they don't know what is going really in Africa. And I just gave an example, and I was so stunned. That was the London School of Economics. It's not a kindergarten. Anyway, so that is one of the reasons really we need to raise the profile of African leaders, especially those people who are really doing wonderful things for their people. That is important. We need role models. We need heroes. That's what we need to inspire really our young people. And before I go in, I would love to acknowledge two of our past laureates, President Chissano of Mozambique, and President Pedro Barrios from Cape Verde, please. Let people see you, Mr. President. Can you stand up, please? Now, please look at this man. So next time we ask, anybody knows Pedro Barrios? Say, yes, I've seen him, I know him. I'd like also, while we are here, to really thank and acknowledge our board members and Prize Committee, without whom really we could not do this work. These are also wonderful people who are coming together to help us, and I'm looking around to see where are they sitting. I start with Dr. Salim Ahmed Salim from Tanzania, the past chair of the African Union, Organization African Union, and also the chair of the Prize Committee. So if you have a problem with the prize, don't ask me, ask him. I'm not a member of his committee. Mary Robinson, President Mary Robinson from Ireland, and President Martti Ahtisaari from Finland, who's also he's also a Namibian honorary citizen because of, actually he got the Nobel Prize because of his effort there. Dr. Abdoulaye Jani from Gambia, and Baroness, who don't like these titles, but Valerie Amos, and Hadil Ibrahim, and from the Prize Committee, Asha Badiallo, and Professor Naira Wood from the board. And I don't see where the other board members. Can you please raise your hand if you have other board members I did not see in here? Anyway, thank you very much for your work and the effort you are putting together. I will be also amiss if I don't thank really one of our guests. We have many wonderful guests here, but this person is a really wonderful person. Out there, and he's recognized as a rock star, but I actually recognize him as a great fighter for African development, health, education, debt relief. These are the causes he's been fighting for. I really want to thank Bono. I found it always touching when people like us, Africans, fight for Africa. This is our duty. But when those guys come from Ireland or somewhere else, try to fight for us, I think that is wonderful. It's nice. We don't expect them to do that. I have only a few minutes, and in these few minutes, I just want to highlight a number of issues which I really would like to flag as challenges facing us in Africa, things we all need to focus on in the coming years, actually. To start with, I think the collapse on the commodities prices is forcing a certain challenge for many African countries. And we'll get over that. And I think anyway, half this money probably was stolen anyway. So maybe if we stop this stolen money, maybe it's okay. It's the same revenues. I was stunned to hear the papers yesterday about somebody stole $2 billion who was supposed to go for the army to fight against Boko Haram, or stunning numbers. And it's really quite depressing. But I hope that we draw the right lessons from this problem of the commodity issue of commodity price. From many years, we all have been arguing that we really need to diversify our economies. We have forgot about agriculture. We used to sell food to people. Now we buy food from abroad. It's unacceptable. We have the largest tracts of lands, fertile lands, arable lands. We are not really trying. We need to do something about our agriculture sector. We need to start to industrialize. We need to develop the services sector, etc. We cannot just live on the rent we collect from the natural resources. And I hope that is a lesson for us. Also, another lesson for us, we need to learn from countries like Norway and some other countries which successfully dealt with their natural resource wealth. You need to save for the difficult times. Always resources have their own cycles, and if we don't save when things are good, when things are bad, you are in trouble. And this is how to manage really our natural resources, so we need to get the right lessons. And I think it's going to be an opportunity also to address the issue of the subsidies of fuel. And I feel very strongly about that issue because of a number of factors here. It is a huge burden on most of our budgets in Africa. And in fact, it is a subsidy which subsidizes the rich people on the expense of the poor people. Rich people have 3, 4 big engine cars. They have air conditioning. They have up-teen fridges, up-teen TVs, and God knows what, heated swimming pools. And those are the people who benefit really from these subsidies. The poor guys actually use the buses or use bicycles, etc. Their share of that subsidy is very small. This should be an opportunity for us really to deal with these subsidy issues. Another point really we need to address is the illicit transfer of funds. I don't know if you are all aware that we are losing through the illicit transfer of funds much more than the total foreign aid Africa is getting. That's a very important issue. And instead of going and begging rich countries to give us a little bit of money here, a little bit of aid here, I mean, stop that bleeding of these resources. We really need to do that. And President Mbeki wrote a very interesting report. I suggest people read it, and we need some action there. We're trying to address also the international communities. We are fighting against anonymous companies and actually we are gaining there. There's some new legislations because who needs anonymous companies? Companies where beneficial ownership nobody knows. Who needs that? Drug dealers and corrupt politicians. This is the guys who need it. Where African money which was stolen, they're all in these accounts shrouded in secrecy because they are under anonymous companies. There's no business, social, or economic need for that, and we built a coalition of eminent business people around the world to really put pressure on politicians to change that. We addressed the G8 meeting and G20 meetings, and they're taking action to stop that. And UK, actually, Cameron, interestingly, taking a very good position there, and we need to see the new legislation in place. But we need in Africa to put the pressure everywhere on that issue. We have another challenge, which of course is climate. We have a very important meeting coming in Paris, and I hope Africa to be really there strongly because it's also, of course, we have to play our share in the fight to contain this rise in temperature and rising of sea levels, etc., because it's one humanity. It affects all of us. But in the case of Africa, we suffer more than many other people as a result of the climate change. Especially, we really did not put that carbon up there. We didn't do that. Some other people did that. And that's also we call for climate justice and for mitigation. And I'm very glad that we have a great champion of Africa here, Mary Robinson, who is really doing the fight on our behalf also and helping us for climate justice. And that's actually the name of the foundation. Thanks, Mary. Now, one of the important issues we need to really speed up is the economic integration of Africa. That's really important. And we kept arguing that 54 countries, small countries, have no place in this world as individual countries. This is a time where big blocs are really defining the international agenda and what happens. That is really important. So please let us all put pressure to bring a faster development of that single market of the in the African continent. We, of course, would have loved the vision of your son here, Kwame Nkrumah, when he went to the first Organization of African Union meeting, and he called for immediate African unity when all these young countries were just coming out of independence. They have not yet sorted out their flags and national anthems and all that stuff. So let us all come together and find a way to go forward. Of course, it is too ambitious, but it is a wonderful call, and we all celebrate really the legacy of that great Ghanaian leader. I cannot, of course, it's always a hope for us one day to see the United States of Africa, but to be practical, let us start with economic integration in Africa. Let's have just a single market. And look, the Europeans were killing each other in two big world wars, and they still managed to come together grudgingly sometime and to form the single market. Why can't we do it? So that's really important for our economy and in order to move forward. We're going to need a major investment in our infrastructure. And actually, infrastructure is one of the major areas of development, as we see in our index. But we need more investment in that. And that infrastructure is what will also help this integration. At the moment, it's much cheaper in West Africa to get goods from China than getting goods from Ethiopia, for example. And it doesn't work. We cannot really go on like that. We still have problem with gender issues. We have this kind of some view xenophobia in Africa, and unfortunately, many African leaders are not coming forward and really taking a good position here. Position of African women is still not satisfactory. Things improved a lot according to our index over the last 11 years. It's the best improved parameter actually, but we come from a very low base. So still the situation is not great really. We need to deal with that issue. It's a cultural issue. It is something we need to address it really. And we have also this xenophobia about gays, about homosexuality, about this, all xenophobia. And guys, get a life. You know, you have no right. And I'm really disappointed in a number of African leaders who try to ride cheap popular waves by pandering to some of these lowest instincts and attacking lesbians or attacking, homosexual or whatever, as if this is the main issue facing us in Africa. We cannot eat. We cannot find clean water. We don't have power. And so we call on our leaders really to have that strong backbone, to stand up and really say the right things and not pander to all this nonsense. Our cities are facing also a big challenge, and our conference tomorrow will deal with that because the rate of urbanization in Africa is so fast. It's the fastest rate in history. And our cities are becoming slums. We're having problems of transportation, housing, health, clean water, sanitation, education, etc. Most of our people are going to end up living in cities, and it's very expensive if we don't do it at early stage. It's so difficult to go and try to reverse engineer things there. And so this conversation tomorrow with the mayors and the practitioners, and we hope to push really this area. Finally, one issue really I think is very important is the issue of our young people. This is a two-edged sword, and we need to pay close attention to it. We have a very, very young continent. Half of our population are below 19 years old. Half. Every year, there is 20 million young people coming to the job market in Africa. Where are we going to get the jobs for those guys? That is a real challenge. And are we equipping our kids with the tools they need in order to find a job, to have a gainful employment? What is our education system need some revision? Are we teaching right skills to the right people? We need to challenge our education administrators, and we need to really pay attention to that, because we don't want to see our kids dying in the Mediterranean because they have no hope in the old country. And these are our best kids, actually, because these are the guys who have the spirit of get up and go, and they're willing to risk everything to have a future. We should offer them the future here, not in Europe. Here should be the future. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm so grateful for your time.
I was listening to what you said about the prize and the independence of the prize committee, but I'm going to tell them to break the rule, and maybe they should consider giving you the prize for the 10th anniversary next year.
Because we are about governance, and it's not break the rules.
It was a joke. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Mo, for reminding us about so much that is important for our continent, fixing the roof when the sun is shining, not when it's raining, and paying attention to the needs of our young people. So thank you very much. Now, you've all been listening and sitting in a very composed manner and clapping in the right places, and you all look gorgeous, you know, especially the ladies in their lovely gowns and the wonderful chiefs from Ghana here. Can you see they look wonderful? Absolutely. Hello, chiefs. So we're going to liven things up a little bit, put a smile on your face, you know, move a bit, because I'm delighted to say that we're now going to hear one of Africa's greatest talents. And she's a singer who, it's very interesting, has successfully combined the traditional and modern as she's taken the music of her country. President Pires, listen up, it's Cape Verde to the world. So we're really putting you out there today. Her remarkable voice and songwriting skills have won her international attention, as well as, of course, fans right across Africa. I would ask you to welcome Maya Andrade to perform for us all tonight. Maya.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank the Mo Ibrahim Foundation for having me here for the second time for this important celebration, and I warmly congratulate President Pohama for this important prize for our continent and for the world. Thank you so much. Ilha de Santiago tem corpinho de algodão, saia de chita com cordão, par de brinco rodapião. Ilha de Santiago tem corpinho de algodão, saia de chita com cordão, par de brinco rodapião. Na Ilha de Santiago tem uma nuvem e tem cacá, e nasce a come com Zezé. Lá de fundo, Rubeira da Barca. Na Ilha de Santiago tem uma nuvem e tem cacá, e nasce a come com Zezé. Lá de fundo, Rubeira da Barca. Ilha de Santiago tem corpinho de algodão, saia de chita com cordão, par de brinco rodapião. Ilha de Santiago tem corpinho de algodão, saia de chita com cordão, par de brinco rodapião. Na Ilha de Santiago tem cartaninho, tem cordeirinho, arique quando novo, minha vivinha lá de fundo, coral de baixo. Na Ilha de Santiago tem cartaninho, tem cordeirinho, arique quando novo, minha vivinha lá de fundo, coral de baixo. Tem corpinho de algodão, saia de chita com cordão, papi brinco rodapião. Na Ilha de Santiago tem corpinho de algodão, saia de chita com cordão, papi brinco rodapião. I'd like to dedicate this song to my beloved country, Cabo Verde. Yeah. President Pires. Homem num terra longe, oh, num terra longe de li. Já tem andado o mundo, manca de um lugar, sabe-se. Que vento leste, folha na mar. Dentro me tem Decília, Cabo Verde, oi, Cabo Verde. Lá na minha terra longe, lamento de povo foi teu. Consciência grita hora e desses voz foi Cabral. Que vento leste, folha na mar. Dentro nós tudo é ilha. Cabo Verde, oi, Cabo Verde. Balanço da espera chuva, te conhela com cesuril. Tu fuca já bendice peixe. Hoje venta chega Lisboa, Feliciano chora saudade. Beni ganha toca bola, desvide cima maré. Cada ano tá nessa esperança. Vem trazer cimenteira, a vida vai mais suave, mas doce, para cada que cresce. Homem não terá longe, ou não terá longe de li. A minha filho de rocha, que vento leste, folha no mar. Dentro me tem Decília, Cabo Verde, oi, Cabo Verde. A minha filho de rocha, que vento leste, folha no mar. Dentro nós, tudo é ilha, Cabo Verde, oi, Cabo Verde. So many men here. Come on. Comes from here. Ladies, let's help them. I know here it's an official stuff, but let's. You can do better. Do it better.
Terrific. Thank you, Maya and her team. Beautiful voice, beautiful songs, beautiful ladies. I've never seen so many presidents dance all at once, my goodness. It's a first. President Kufuor, you've got many hidden talents. We go back a long way. So that was wonderful, and I'm sure that many of us now will become even more devoted fans of lovely Maya. But it's now time to move to the centerpiece of tonight's event, the award of this year's Ibrahim Prize for Achievement in African Leadership. Now, the prize, as some of you know, was launched in 2006, and it was first awarded in 2007. And each year, the decision on whether to award the prize and to whom, as Mo explained earlier, is made on very strict criteria by the Independent Prize Committee, which is chaired by Dr. Salim Ahmed Salim, one of Africa's most senior statesmen. And of course, he's a former Secretary General of what was then the Organization of African Unity, as well as a former Prime Minister in his native Tanzania. We'll be hearing from Dr. Salim shortly, but before we do, we're just going to watch a short film about President Pahamba's political career.
Hifikepunye Pohamba's political career started when he was a young man, drawn to the Ovambo Land People's Organization, and then becoming a founding member of SWAPO, the Southwest African People's Organization, which worked for nearly 30 years to achieve Namibian independence. Living in exile or under house arrest for many years, he emerged as a leader in the movement, representing it across Africa and leading its efforts from offices in Zambia and Tanzania, and working with other organizations promoting freedom across Southern Africa. He understood the need to build a nation for all citizens of Namibia, a goal that he took with him throughout his political career and into his presidency.
Tribalism that has prevailed in our country is no more there. SWAPO has united all the people of Namibia.
With global diplomatic support, Namibia became an independent nation in 1990, and Sam Nujoma was elected its founding president.
In the name of our people, to declare that Namibia is forever free, sovereign, and independent. I thank you.
Pohamba had headed SWAPO's first democratic campaign and was elected to the National Assembly. The new country had much to accomplish, and President Nujoma relied on Pohamba in a series of ministerial posts: home affairs, fisheries and marine resources, and importantly, lands, resettlement, and rehabilitation. He won praise for working with all sides on land distribution. When Nujoma stepped down after 3 terms, Pohamba was selected by SWAPO and won the 2004 election with 76% of the vote.
The vote for freedom and democracy was and remains an irreversible choice by all our people.
He quickly made his mark, taking on corruption, focusing on stable economic growth and inclusion. Namibia's economic and political development brought it onto the world stage. He took a personal interest in the government's initiatives and how they would directly affect citizens.
We give you a responsibility, and you are not attending to the responsibility we gave you.
Pohamba was again nominated as the party's presidential candidate in 2009. During his term in office, the country's GDP nearly doubled. It rose in the rankings of the Ibrahim Index of African Governance and Transparency International, as well as being rated as the country with the greatest press freedom in Africa by Reporters Without Borders. Pohamba reached across the political spectrum and to all the country's tribes to create a government of inclusion.
He made special efforts to make everybody in Namibia feel that they were welcome to be part of Namibia.
Tourism increased as well, partly a result of responsible stewardship of the natural beauty of the country. Gender equality also got attention, with half of all parliamentarians now women. And finally, just before leaving office, primary education fees were abolished.
My message to you is that we continue to keep peace and stability in our country forever.
Affirming the Constitution, he stepped down after 2 terms and urged others across Africa to do the same.
The unconstitutional changes of government on our continent must be denounced and rejected.
The Prize Committee cited his forging national cohesion and reconciliation at a key stage of Namibia's consolidation of democracy and social and economic development. For his accomplishments, Hifikepunye Pohamba is the recipient of the 2014 Ibrahim Prize for Achievement in African Leadership.
I was hoping Zainab would be here. It's okay. Your Excellency, President Mahama, Excellencies, former heads of states and government, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will read the citation of the Prize Committee. This award from an African foundation is a celebration of achievement in African leadership on the African continent. The Prize Committee has decided to award the 2014 Ibrahim Prize for Achievement in African Leadership to President Pohamba of Namibia. President Pohamba's focus in forging national cohesion and reconciliation at a key stage of Namibia's consolidation of democracy and social and economic development impressed the Prize Committee. His ability to command the confidence and the trust of his people is exemplary. During the decade of his presidential mandate, he demonstrated sound and wise leadership. At the same time, he maintained his humility, simplicity throughout his presidency. During his time of office, he was committed to the rule of law and to respect for the Constitution, in particular on the issue of term limit. The Prize Committee also commends his respect for political opposition. His particular emphasis on issues of gender equality led to the notable achievement of that 48% of Namibia's parliamentarians is female. The focus on investment, on health and education by his government has reaped tremendous benefits. High literacy has been augmented by primary school enrollment of almost 100% due to the abolition of school fees, a measure due to be extended to secondary schools next year. One of the highest HIV/AIDS prevalence rates in the world had been addressed through an effective national mobilization plan led under his personal authority. Over 80% of people living with HIV/AIDS now receive antiretroviral therapy. HIV infections fell by an estimated 36% between 2005 and 2013, and mother-to-child transmission rates are now below 4%. Namibia's macroeconomic performance has, even though have gone through a period of global economic turbulence, and the achievement of higher middle income status reflected sound public management. This included a focus on diversifying the Namibian economy with an emphasis on greater domestic processing and manufacturing and on investment in infrastructure. Efforts to tackle poverty were noted, specifically a pension system and comprehensive social safety net and disability grants. However, the Prize Committee is conscious that this very young nation still faces considerable challenges, in particular, widening economic and social inequality. Through the decade of President Pohamba's period, Namibia's reputation has been cemented as governed, stable, and inclusive democracy with strong media freedom and respect for human rights. At a time of global uncertainty, this sustained progress to unified and cohesive nation at such an important moment in Namibia's transition reinforced the conviction of the Prize Committee that President Pohamba is a worthy winner of the 2014 Ibrahim Prize for Achievement in African Leadership. May I request President Pohamba please to come on the stage to receive his award and ask Kosh also to bring that award.
I thank you, Dr. Salim Ahmed Salim, for inviting me to speak after you have given me this prestigious award to the gathering. Director of Ceremonies, Your Excellency John Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, Your Excellencies, heads of states and government, not only from those who served Africa, I'm also addressing His Excellency Martti Ahtisaari, the former President of the Republic of Finland. Your Excellencies, the laureates of the Ibrahim Prize for Achievement in African Leadership, Dr. Mo Ibrahim, founder and executive chairman of the Ibrahim Foundation, Dr. Salim Ahmed Salim, chairperson of the Prize Committee, esteemed members of the Prize Committee, esteemed board members, Your Excellencies, members of Diplomatic Corps, distinguished invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. To be given an award by any reputable institution is an honor for the recipient. For me, to be given an award by the Mo Ibrahim Foundation, an organization whose selection criteria is based on objective and independent judgment of eminent members of the Prize Committee, is particularly appreciated. The news that I have been selected as a winner of the 2014 Ibrahim Prize for Achievement in African Leadership reached me on the 2nd of March this year, barely 3 weeks before the end of my second term, and indeed the last term as Namibia's second president. It was an unexpected but a pleasant surprise. It was a pleasant surprise indeed. On the 21st March this year, I handed over power to my worthy, popularly elected successor and the third president of our country, His Excellency Dr. Hage Geingob. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, my wife, my family, and I are grateful to the Mo Ibrahim Foundation Prize Committee for honoring me in this way. I say thank you. Thank you very much. For giving me the opportunity to join the distinguished laureates of the prestigious Ibrahim Prize. This honor is not for me alone. I accept it with a sense of great humility on behalf of the people of Namibia, who entrusted me through democratic processes to lead our country as president for 2 consecutive terms of 5 years each. Their commitment to uphold democracy and the rule of law made the modest achievements that were recorded during my tenure of office possible. I also wish to thank my colleagues in the government and the ruling SWAPO party who worked with me over the years in governing our country. That I am receiving this prestigious award here in Ghana, the land of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, is of profound historical and political significance to me. His memorable words that independence of Ghana would be meaningless unless linked up with the total liberation of Africa motivated the many, especially African liberation movements, to fight with determination in order to break the chains of colonialism. Namibia and many other countries in Africa endured protracted wars of national liberation. During that struggle, our people called for respect for human rights, dignity, and equal opportunities for all. They now demand that this be accorded to everyone regardless of his economic or social status. For many decades, these moral and political expectations have presented both challenges and opportunities for our continent. It was expected that the attainment of nationhood would usher in a new era, an era of sustained peace, stability, social justice, and development. Instead, armed conflicts, civil wars, economic dislocation, and the social upheavals have become all too prevalent in some parts of our continent. Statistically, Africa has lost more lives as a result of internal armed conflicts and civil wars than during the wars of liberation against the colonialism and the foreign oppression. This demonstrates inadequate leadership in the African continent. We should all feel outraged by the horrific scenes of the killing of innocent people in the Central African Republic and the horrendous displacement and suffering of the people of South Sudan. We should condemn in the strongest terms the heinous atrocities committed by Boko Haram, Nigeria, and in other Lake Chad Basin countries. Al-Shabaab in Somalia and in Kenya, as well as the atrocities against innocent civilians in Mali. Just today, around about 7 o'clock in the morning, I think all of us have heard what had happened in Mali's capital. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, genuine social economic development here in Africa or elsewhere cannot be exclusively preserved for governments and their agencies, meaning government agencies. Sufficient space must be provided for all stakeholders, such as private sector, vibrant civil society organizations, free media, independent and honest judiciary, independent and honest judiciary, as well as women and the youth to make their contributions. Today, thousands of Africans are forced to leave their countries in search for better living conditions in Europe. In the process, many of them have drowned on the higher sea in the Mediterranean. I implore the European countries to ensure that no matter how the migrant left their countries of origin, they must be treated humanly and with dignity. African governments should assume their full responsibility to create conditions at home so that our people cannot flee to other continents in search of better life. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is now about 58 years since Ghana gained independence and became the first black African to defeat colonial rule. I know we had Liberia, we had Ethiopia, we had Egypt. Which other one? Oh, I see. I'm told, I have been reminded that Sudan is also joined Ghana. The rule or the honors is on us, the leaders and the people of Africa, to pursue a new development trajectory that embraces unity, hard work, and innovation. We must invest in education and training, and at the same time reject the vices of divisions, corruption, and the coup d'etat that have undermined Africa's development for decades. We must reject constitutional manipulation and encourage consensus. We must reject the manipulation of the constitutions. This must be our mission as the African people. It must be the mission of all African leaders. No individual or group of people should be allowed to usurp power from democratically elected leaders with impunity. Your Excellencies, since the first Ibrahim Prize was awarded to His Excellency Joaquim Chissano, my fellow freedom fighters, we were together in Dar es Salaam on those years. It has become one of the important benchmarks for measuring good governance and democratic leadership in Africa. The laureates of the Ibrahim Prize, whom I have the privilege to join them today, have demonstrated what is possible and achievable in the African continent. They have shown that Africa is about hope, optimism, respect for human rights, progress, and above all, peace, stability, and social justice. Africa is also about political and social inclusivity, good governance, respect for differences, tolerance, and diversity. This is what we wanted to see happen in all parts of Africa. Africa should do more to consolidate constitutional democracy, uphold the rule of law, promote accountable governance, and respect the human rights for our people. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I wish to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Ibrahim, the Foundation, and the Prize Committee for bestowing upon me this rare honor. It is a recognition for which I will remain forever grateful. The prize will enable me to implement the aims and objectives of the Hifikepunye Pohamba Foundation, which I have established. It was not established from March the 2nd when I got the news. It was long back established. The aim of the foundation is to support young Namibians who wish to pursue training, especially in the fields of agriculture and the food production, in the hope that this will contribute to human and food security in our country. On behalf of my wife, and she's there, my family, and indeed the people of Namibia, it is now my distinct pleasure to accept the 2014 Ibrahim Prize for Achievement in African Leadership. I have already shown it to you. I thank you. Before I leave the podium, I have some token of appreciation that I would like to hand over. Would you like to come and join me, honey? Thank you, thank you. To hand over to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, and the other one goes to His Excellency Dr. Mo Ibrahim, founder, chairperson of the Mo Ibrahim Foundation. And the other one, it goes to Dr. Salim Ahmed Salim, chairperson of the Prize Committee of the Mo Ibrahim Foundation. I'm not asking them to come. I will take this to them. He who is having that one of the president.
Has he forgotten something?
I'm being advised by my colleagues that we should stand here and the members of my family should come and be taken photo. Is it correct?
Yeah,
This has to be.
That's going to be done a little bit later,
Very
I think.
good, very good.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to add my congratulations to you. The prize winner turns prize giver, although for one moment I thought he was going to donate to you, former First Lady, when he said, I'd like to, and you came up. But thank you so much for your very all-encompassing speech delivered in such a majestic and well-considered manner. And I think we get the idea of how inclusive your government was in Namibia, because your thanks and gratitude and welcome at the beginning was so inclusive to everybody. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will do that
Thank you.
later.
Thank you, and congratulations. Thank you, President Mahama, for revealing what is in those gifts that are being presented to you. A collection of President Pahamba's, all his speeches, so there'll be some very rigorous bed night reading for you all. Thank you very much indeed. And I don't want to create a diplomatic incident since I'm in Ghana, but I have to say, as somebody who was born in the Sudan, Sudan gained its independence in January 1956. Just, Hannah, we're still friends. So, ladies and gentlemen, it would not be right to be in Ghana without sampling and bringing you some of the country's extraordinary rich musical talent. And we are really fortunate to have with us one of the country's best known and loved musicians. I'm going to vacate the stage and so give a huge welcome to Rex Omar.
Good evening, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ghana, the center of the world. Woman, come on, that kakra. I go on in kakra. Woman, go to the kakra. Ninara, come on. Chimidano, I worry cumbio. Matu wumpa, matu wupono, midday tibio. Myself get us a woman, madame, and more don't come cumbio. Didi, dada, didi, dada, dada, popo, dada, di, dada, dada, dada. All day my feel, what you me done? And then when you bring me so Diana, many or down and one, you're a punk or more, you're the other teeth. So, madame, and Yanibio. Da da di da 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 da. Da da di da 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 da. Like it is, like it up, like it is, like it up, like it is, like it up. And I was someone catch your amino. I got in front of them, Jimo. Namanani sugar. Namasuga, namasuga, namasuga. Namanani, baby. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. I know you are presidents. I know you are big men, but at least you can do just like this. Yeah. Thank you very much. Adura nyumre mama frana de dano. Sami tupuno no mana sami dumu kani anoa. Na wuni ni ame hwehwa kire nyina. Ode ukama dimio. Enti sorry na fa honam baka honam ho. Na de da me mami nai. Abibae. Why don't go to Wayamido? Abibae. Why don't go to Wayamido? Yeah. Abibae. Why don't go to Wayamido? Abibae. All right. Some of the sun coming, come back. Mamisa mamisa kamikekeba. 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 My baby, can I touch you tonight while I'm in the mood? My honey, I wanna rock you tonight, 'cause I feel so good. My baby, can I touch you tonight while I'm in the mood? My sugar, I wanna rock you tonight, 'cause I feel so good. Abiba, why don't go to Miami do? Abiba, why don't go to Miami do? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Abiba, why don't go to Miami do? Abiba, why don't go to Miami do? Obidoba, 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 Onia una mame, Wasia una mami amofe, Menene bayo, Menene bayo, Menene bayo, Ninia una mame, Nesia una mami amofe, Semensiano an kamini dofu, Semensiano an kamini dofu. Semensiano an kamini dofu. Semensiano an kamini dofu. Eh eh. Eh eh. Eh eh. Eh eh. Eh eh. Eh eh. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Rex. No wonder you all go around with a smile on your face in Accra if you listen to that kind of music all the time. Terrific, really wonderful. So a celebratory bit of music there for you, President Mahamba, to acknowledge your receiving the 2014 Ibrahim Prize. And I should say, actually, your documents of your speeches, as somebody who loves to document Africa's recent history, I'm sure are a very, very important contribution. And I look forward myself to somehow getting hold of your letters and speeches and reading them. So this is just the beginning of 2 days of great entertainment, as you've just seen, but also of some more serious discussion. And this year, the discussions are going to center on one major force that is shaping the continent of Africa, and that is urbanization. And that's going to be thrashed out tomorrow in various sessions, and I know that a lot of you are going to be attending that. But let me introduce you, however, to somebody who is another force of nature, as she was described last year by US Vogue magazine, and that is Hadeel Ibrahim. And of course, she was the first executive director of the Mo Ibrahim Foundation, and she played a very critical and huge role in creating the foundation into what it's become today. She's also a very passionate advocate for Africa and has been a driving force behind the Africa Center in New York. But recently, she's also been focusing on the plight of refugees, and we heard President Mahamba talk a bit about that in his acceptance speech. But Hadeel, come to the stage and tell us a little bit more about that part of your work. Hadeel Ibrahim.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, excellencies. I've really been asked today to talk a little bit about the challenges facing the humanitarian assistance sector around the world. This may seem like a slightly unusual topic for an organization that's been primarily focused on development for its 9 years. But as I hope I will go on to explain, the challenges facing the world today are so serious that we will have to redefine what we are and who we are and what we focus on. Earlier this year, Secretary General Ban Ki-moon appointed 9 of us to form the high-level panel for humanitarian financing, and I see one of my colleagues, Trevor Manuel, is sitting in the front row. The challenges we've been asked to look at are as follows. Last year, 122 million people received humanitarian assistance. To put that in perspective, if that was a country, it would be the 11th largest country in the world. The budget for that country would be $25 billion. Now, that may sound like a lot of money, but let me repeat, 122 million people. Let me give you a little more detail. As you know, with the Mo Ibrahim Foundation, we're big fans of data, so you'll get a little bit more. Of that budget of $25 billion, 2/3 goes to protracted crises that have lasted for longer than 7 years. We have 50 million displaced people in the world today. Every single day, 42,500 people are forced to leave their homes. The average amount of time they'll be displaced for is 17 years. That is the global average. What we are doing with the most vulnerable in our societies, the most marginalized, is giving them a life sentence. 17 years. So, can we continue to expect aid agencies from within and without the UN and the international NGO community to deal with this without our support as a development community? Earlier this year, the global goals came into force, and one of the guiding principles around them was that no one would be left behind. But as currently construed, where development is one bucket and humanitarian is another bucket, we will definitionally leave those 122 million people behind. No one is thinking about how the 500,000 people in Dadaab refugee camp are going to meet the Sustainable Development Goals. In fact, a Syrian crossing the Turkish border today is not going to be home, statistically speaking, before we're meant to have achieved the SDGs. So, really what I'm here to do today is to draw attention to the work that Trevor and I will be doing on this panel. We will be submitting our report to the Secretary General next month, ahead of the World Humanitarian Summit in May. And what we ask this community of brilliant activists, thinkers, private sector players to do is really take seriously that we need to have joint ownership of this challenge. To give another small example, the burden we're placing on host countries. I see Foreign Minister of Ethiopia here. They're the largest refugee hosting country in Africa. Ethiopia is home to 700,000 refugees. What is the cost to Ethiopia of that? And they do so with such a commitment to educating and providing shelter for those people. Last week we were on the Turkish-Syrian border. Turkey has 2.2 million Syrians living within its border. That's the lowest estimate. Turkey has had to redirect $8.5 billion of its own resources to those Syrians. The international community has contributed 800 million. Turkey has contributed 8.5 billion. They're having to cancel their high-speed rail projects, cancel their own infrastructure projects. This is a developing country. Turkey is not a fully developed country. So the burden we're placing on host countries, on UN agencies, and on individual giving, and of course NGOs, is huge because we think of ourselves as development people. So the challenge that I would like to make to all of you is that our humanity requires us all to be humanitarians. We have been asked by member states to produce a bold, visionary, and ambitious report. And I believe we will do that. But we will need bold, visionary, and ambitious action by everybody in this room to make that a reality. So I urge you to, first of all, read the report. It won't be very long. But really think about how we, as a community, can ensure that no one is left behind as we move towards a world premised upon dignity and justice for all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Hadil, and I'm sure that all of us in this hall today applaud you and your colleagues on this panel and wish you the greatest success in your efforts, and I'm sure there'll be many who hopefully will be able to lend their support to you. Now, we have one final treat in store for you this evening, another force of nature, and somebody who's become a kind of tradition at the Mo Ibrahim annual event. Angelique Kidjo is a true global superstar, and not only as a musician, but she too has been determined to use her voice to campaign on behalf of particularly women and children, and men indeed, in Africa. And it's why Angelique is a supporter of the Ibrahim Foundation and also of this event. But before I welcome Angelique to the stage, I will thank you all for attending. President Mahama, President John Kufuor, former presidents as well who are here, Minister Hannah Tete, Minister Dr. Tedros, Dr. Mo Ibrahim, former Minister Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Aliko Dangote, and there's so many of you. We'll be here all night if I name you all. But thank you all, the board of the Mo Ibrahim Foundation, all the organizers behind this event. And also, it's been my great pleasure to have presided over such a terrific event. And of course, renewed congratulations to you, President Mahama. Thank you. Angelique.
Good evening, everybody. After all those excellent speeches, I want you to sing, as we do in Africa. We have to celebrate the future of our continent, the young kids of this continent of ours that we have been talking about. And we have to celebrate the Mo Ibrahim Foundation. 9 years, 10 years pretty much soon, right? Ooh, that doesn't make me feel young, but it's okay. I can take 10 years on top of it. How y'all doing? So, you know me by now. I don't let you sit, and I don't let you quiet. So you're gonna have to sing, okay? I'll make you sing, you know that, right? All right. You're looking at me like that. You come here, you know what you're in for. So you're gonna sing this. Ashe mama, Africa. Ashe mama, Africa. Let me hear you. We can't do better than that in Africa. I know Mo is right in there because Mo gonna sing, Mary gonna sing, the usual suspect sings. So now, Ghana, come on, give it to me a little bit. I mean, you know how to sing in this country. What's up with that? Let's go back to it. 1, 2, 3, go. Ashe mama. Aha. All right, when I say let's go, you do what you just did. Right now? Okay, that's pretty good. Come on, let's do it. Before Africa, me when I come more the Susan la me were mere manali da bebito ye pomoro nyanya tora we Africa baby say no we you know me ya let's go mama Africa mama Africa mama she mama Africa mama Africa mama she mama Africa mama Africa mama she mama Africa. Bamende la fondo no wa we na do no to we bledo ye ma do no de wa we dio ye ko boro nyanya tora we Africa baby say to we you know be better let's go
the show, the show, the show, the show. Come on, the show, 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 the show. For Africa, below, the white man from the morning, it's so some of me wedding, let them not be that baby. If from Africa, baby, say no way, you know me, Kenya. Let's go! In the next song, I want to pay tribute to my musical role model. She's no longer here, but she's always in my heart. She was my first example of what Pan-Africanism means, what our continent means to artists, because we artists are the ambassadors of this continent, and Miriam Makeba was the first one. So you know the song. Let's all stand up and celebrate Miriam's. She's no longer here, but let's give it to her. Let's do it. She
Okay. That's what's for Miriam Makeba. But don't sit down. More dancing. Let's do it. Whoa, whoa, Thank you. We want to leave you with one of the most famous African songs that so many people have covered, that I have been singing since I was 9 years old. Malaika, nakupanda malaika, malaika, nakupanda malaika, ingekuwa mariwe, ingekuwa nawe ningekuwa malaika, nashindwa na mali sinawe, ningekuwa malaika. Yeba pesa zasubuwa roho yangu, Kijana mwezi nashindwa na mali sinawe, ningekuwa malaika, nashindwa na mali sinawe, ningekuwa malaika. Kijana mwezi nashindwa na mali sinawe, jongli ningekuwa malaika, nashindwa na mali sinawe, ningekuwa malaika, ningekuwa malaika, ningekuwa malaika, ningekuwa malaika. Acoustic and electric guitar, Mr. Dominic James from New York. On bass from France and the United States of America, Mr. Ben Zverine. On percussion from Senegal, West Africa, Mr. Makato. On drums from Chile, Mr. Yayo Seka. One more? Are you sure you want Zinab? All right, Tumba then. Okay. So you're gonna dance Zinab, right? You sure you have your dancing shoes on? Everybody have the dancing shoes on? If you want one more, you can't stand and look at me. You gotta dance. Okay, let's do it. Wait. No, I don't wait. Play.
Tumba,
You gotta dance. You come here to dance.
Agare mi duwe, enegare fupeto. Ni wadu mi ni chapa, me pisa boni sapi. I watch them a joke we are what you don't we wadu.